Hi guys, it's me Tanya, and I am back to work on this cup. This cup is in order, and if you watched my last video, you saw that I was working on it. In the last video, you'll remember that I did the crackling. So I have to tell you that I messed that up, you guys. I did it backwards. So what I ended up doing is I put how did I do that? I put the paint first, and then I put the Elmer's glue over it. It's totally backwards, and I didn't realize until it totally failed. You gotta do the glue and then lightly go over that with the paint. So if you are following along or trying to do it on your own, please don't follow that video. Do the glue first, Elmer's glue, regular Elmer's school glue, just this junky 50-cent glue. That's it. And then go over it lightly with the color of acrylic paint that you want to use. As it dries, it's going to crack and slide on the cup. Now this also has some epoxy on it, so it's going to be shiny. Without the epoxy, it's not shiny. This cup also, I need to still sand it, which I'm going to do. And then I'm going to put the decals. In the last stage, it had the decals. These are the solid decals that were under it, so that I just did the design over the top, and then I peeled the decals back. And this is the glitter that was underneath that. So I'm gonna go ahead. I actually need to clean the edges too. With this, in between steps, or epoxy steps at least, I always clean the edge of the cup to make sure. Let me see how close I am so that I'm not like blinding you guys. To make sure that that edge is clean, so that when the person gets it, it's not all gunked up here, because the lid needs to fit properly. So I just clean this edge, and that also leaves a kind of a raw edge so that when the final layer of epoxy goes on, it's not too thick, and it works out really well for me. So, all right, so I'm just gonna do that. Once the cup is done, I'll actually do the inside as well, any drips that might have gone in there. Just really careful about that edge. And then, that's pretty good. And then I take my sandpaper or my sanding block and just lightly go around. I don't want to go too deep because it'll rub that epoxy clean off and go back down to the paint, and I don't want to do that. So I just want to go lightly so it's not sharp, nice and smooth. I usually do this in my lap, but then you wouldn't be able to see it, would you? Okay, so that's feeling pretty good, especially with this glue and paint. It leaves it much more bumpy on that surface, so I have to make sure that that's really nice and clean. Oops, there's a spot right there. I can feel it. Get that really good. And then I want to sand the cup itself. I'm going to go ahead and put something soft down. Again, I usually do this in my lap, but I'm going to do it this way today. You can see there's a lot of bumps on here and stuff. Some of that comes from oils on my hands, or I think that that paint may have had a little bit of oil in it. I'm not sure what happened there, because it's not supposed to be like that. Also, the chunky glitter doesn't stick really well to epoxy the first time. It tends to slide off, so you have to kind of rough it up. Sometimes you have to spray it with clear paint to get it to work, but we should be okay with this. I'm gonna sand it really good and just make sure that it's a little smoother, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna put the decals over it, and then I have to go put it in the other room to get some more epoxy on it. Now, if everything goes right, fingers crossed, I should be able to probably put one more layer of epoxy on in the morning, and I should be able to ship it the next day, I hope. Because I'm kind of running late on this one, not gonna lie. I should be shipping out tomorrow, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to, because I did have some trouble with it, but that's okay. You know, I always try to get it out on time, but one day isn't gonna make too much difference. my turnaround time on difficult cups like this, because this one's a little bit more complicated, and if it goes right, like if every single layer went right, because everything takes time to dry, I usually get these done within a week. But unfortunately, I had orders, I had some different things that held me back, and I had some struggles with it. So it's taken me 2. And my shipping time is set to 2 weeks. So I'm still within my boundaries. Of course, I had other orders too, so. But you guys, this is gonna be gorgeous when it's done. I know it's looking kind of rough right now. So what happens with the sanded part, when the epoxy hits that again, it brightens it up. It brings that shine back out. So it's not a worry at all that it's dull right now, because it's gonna be gorgeous. And then I wanna make sure I get the edges down here. I don't wanna go too deep on that because it'll sand the paint and the glue and the epoxy right off of it. So I just wanna kind of hit it with the sanding block just to get the majority of it off, because when the epoxy goes back on, it's going to add some more thickness and it'll smooth that out. And the sanded surface actually grabs that epoxy, so that works out nice. All right. So that, oh, I gotta get this too. I can see that it kind of messed up down here too. I think there must have been some kind of oil in one of those, whether it was the glue or I don't know what, or the paint. Like I said, I used to use that paint for what am I thinking? Acrylic pouring for paintings, and so it may actually have some oil in it. All right, so here's what I gotta do. These are the decals that are gonna go over the butterfly. And I actually weeded most of them already, but I left one undone just to kind of give you a idea what that's like. So I have to do this to each and every one of them, which, you know, doesn't bother me much. It's kind of fun once you get onto the, once you get on it, it's not too bad. And if you guys are interested in this tool is actually called a pin weeding tool, and I got it on, what is that website? Shoot, I can't think of the Vinyl 147 or something like that. My crafting source. I'm not sure which one, honestly, but if I remember, I'll put a link on it if anybody's interested. It actually is a pin. It's like a needle inside there. So when you retract, it's a needle, and it just pokes that vinyl out, which is cool. I actually use this for my die cuts too. It works really nicely. I love my pokey tool, but my pokey tool doesn't have as fine a tip as this. So sometimes this one works way better. I actually have 2 of them that I keep around my desk. And it works fantastic like. So if you're interested, I will put that link in if I can find it. It's a great tool. They're about 10 bucks. I know that you can probably make them, but I don't mind spending money on a good tool and supporting a business like that, because I don't think they're a huge business. I think they're, or at least they weren't last time I looked. They've probably grown a bit. Of course, you know, you never know with this, you never know these days how business is going for some. To be honest, I've got a, I do my cup business, and I'm looking at my stats, and it's making me sad because I was doing really, really well. I was pushing my cups and posting something every day in my Facebook group and just letting people know what I was doing and working on. But I feel like there are so many more important things going on in the world right now. I have not been good about showing my cups and promoting my business, just because, I don't know, I just feel like there's so many other things that, to be honest, people should, you know, be focused on with their finances and stuff. Everything's just so unknown right now, and with Corona and just everything, I feel ugly pushing it too much. So, you know, I don't want to overwhelm people. I don't want them to feel obligated, so I guess this is part of it too. Okay, so when I did this, I put, where'd those other decals go? The orange ones. They had, the solid butterfly had the head and the antennas on it also, but I cut those off because I noticed it was really hard to line that up on the design. But what I'm gonna do, I'm actually gonna stand up because I can't really see this. What I'm gonna do is line this up with the cutout the best that I can and place it right over that glitter. Go there. Oh, and I used transfer tape to get it off of the paper. Now, some of these won't be perfectly straight. They may bubble up a little bit, and that's okay. I'm gonna, I'll work with it so that it lays flat. But let's see, you can see it kind of bubbled or lifted right there a little bit. And what I end up doing with that, I have room here. So what I'll do is kind of put my razor blade, can you guys see? I'm sorry. Razor blade underneath there and lift it back up. I tried not to push it too hard down, because if you do this too much, it'll stretch, and then you're working with a piece that there's no way it'll ever work. So don't want to do that. Just kind of peel that up a little bit, and we'll push it back down and smooth it out. There we go. It's okay if it's not perfect. I want to get as good a seal as I can, because what will happen is epoxy will go underneath there and lift it up, and that makes it really difficult later on to smooth out and look nice. And I want it to look as good as I can. Especially, this cup is not for me. This is an order that somebody paid good money for, so I want it to be a quality product. It's important to me. All right, so that's what it's going to look like. So we got 4 more to go. All right, 1 more. Let's do another one. Just put the transfer tape on there, rub it, make sure it lifts. Feel that. I'm sorry if that other one didn't show you guys. Was sitting down, and my camera's actually at a different angle today. I was trying to get the best angle that I could. So if it wasn't on there, I apologize. Let's do it again. So line it up. Points on, and then we'll go down to the bottom. There, I think that one actually landed better. Put it on there. Let's look. Yep, that one landed much better. I don't even have to lift any of that one. That's good. Perfect. All right, so there we go. There's the second one. A couple more. Hope you guys are having a great day. I actually worked early this morning. Well, not early. I usually close the store when I work. I am an assistant manager at a grocery store. If you don't know, I know I've got a lot of new folks. So I usually close the store. So I usually don't get home till 10:30 or 11. But today I did a mid shift. So I worked 9 to, well, I worked about 8:30 to 5:30 today. I was scheduled 9 to 7, but we're trying to cut hours where we could, and I was able to sneak out, so I got out a little earlier, which is nice. And tomorrow, especially because tomorrow I have to be in by 5 a.m., and that is going to be tough for me. That is a hard schedule for me, because I'm used to closing, so I'm used to being up late at night, not getting up early in the morning. Which is also why my boss didn't mind if I left. He knows my schedule is not like that, so he doesn't mind. As long as my job is done. The other manager was there to take over, so it works out. We're a pretty good team that way. Okay, so these are going to be really hard to lift just because of the way they fell. So what I'm going to do is actually slice this and lay it down and then lay that edge down. I'm going to do the same thing here. Again, I made it messed that up a little bit, so it'll smooth out. She'll never know. This one I think I can lift. It's hard on these curves down here at the bottom. The cup isn't perfectly straight. So when you're trying to put a flat decal on it, it's going to try to do its own thing. And that doesn't always work. right, so I was able to lift that flat. Let's see what's about this one. Sometimes it just takes a fingernail and you can get it to smooth out. Sometimes you can't. This one I think I can do. There we go. That one I can do. That one I can do. That one I can do. Awesome. All right, so we got that one. Now, a couple more. I'm seeing this. I'm tending to want to work this direction. So let me go ahead and set this back this way, and then I can sit down again. Whew. I did a lot of lifting today. My back is tired. I think I'm gonna have to take some medication before I go to bed just to get my muscles to relax. They had, we got, how many pallets of produce in today? It's not a lot for a lot of stores, but when there's only 2 or 3 people working on it, it can be a lot. We got 3, 4, I think 6 pallets of produce in today, and I was throwing the boxes with the youngsters. So, you know, boxes of potatoes are 40 to 50 pounds each, and you know, the rest of the stuff is close. 20 to 40 pounds is usually what they weigh. So that's a lot of lifting in a day. It's a lot of produce. And let's see here. So my back gets a little tired. Okay, I'm gonna kind of do this in waves here because I pressed that down and one of the antennas went down. I wasn't ready for it. So I'm gonna kind of lift this as I go. Hopefully I can still get it to lay pretty flat. It wasn't exactly cooperating the way I wanted it to, but I think we're good to go. All right. Wow, I was way off with that one. But I think it's gonna be okay. I think I'm gonna cut right here. Sometimes if you make a mistake, you just gotta figure out ways to make it work and be exceptional anyway. That's okay. Can't be afraid to take chances with our art, right? All right. There we go. And these butterfly dies I actually got from, if any of you have a Cricut, I got these off Design Space, and I made them a long time ago when you didn't have to pay for them. I'm a little bit mad about that still. So I actually just had some in my stash. I think I paid for it once because I knew after the changes happened and you started having to pay for some of the designs, I think I paid for it once, just printed out, did a whole bunch of them. So I don't know if I'll have to pay for them next time I need them, or if I just need to redesign some of my own. I'll probably just redesign some of my own. Probably use one of these and make my own. Do it a little different maybe. I don't know. I'll figure it out. When the need arises, I will figure it out. And I'm going to have one left over, so I'll have a sample. Usually I'm doing this on a hard surface. This padded envelope is making it tough, but that's okay. I don't want to scratch up the cup while I'm working on it. All right, last one. Last one. Thanks for hanging out with me, you guys. This is the last one, and then I won't take you long because it's hard to do to put the epoxy on the camera. And it's in the other room. So I'd have to like up my whole production area and go in the other room to show you. So, hi Cassie. Cassie is saying hello. Can you guys hear her? Gretchen's down here at my feet too, but she's pretty quiet. She's a quiet puppy. All right, so that is it for this one. Stay tuned and I will let you guys see the finished project. Whether that's tomorrow or the next day, I'm not sure yet. Depends on how it goes. As long as I don't have any flies or dog hair or, you know, anything weird stuck into the epoxy, and as long as the epoxy sticks where it's supposed to and isn't too bumpy, I should be able to get it finished. I'm hoping to get it finished tomorrow. I really do, because I want to be able to ship it out on time. Well, I want to be able to ship it out on time. At least if I can package it tomorrow and get that tracking number, I'll be on time. So hopefully I'll be able to do that by the nighttime. Actually, I want to cut that one right there. I just want to go over it one more time and make sure it's as good as I can get it. As smooth as I can. The less bumps, the better. Because nobody wants to feel those bumps when they're picking up their cup, especially when they paid good money for it. Now, of course, this is a handmade item, so, you know, there's always going to be errors, there's always going to be flaws, but I like to make my cups smooth. I know when I drink out of my cups, if there's a bump on it, like, I've got a couple that I've made for myself, well, not for myself, but they've kind of ended up in my cabinet because nobody wanted them for whatever reason, and I love them. So if there's a bump on it, I feel like the cup is dirty, and I don't want somebody to feel like that about my cups. Do you guys feel like that? It's important to me to have a good product. Really, really important. Can't take away first impressions, can you? Never get a second chance at that. All right. And I've got a lot of people that have ordered multiple cups, so that makes me proud. And then they're friends, which is fun too. I even did a cup for somebody who was TikTok famous. That was fun. And she opened it on TikTok. That was pretty cool. Can't remember her name. It's Cookies, something Cookie. Because I did a Cookie Monster cup and put her name on the back. And somebody had bought it, ordered it for her, which I thought was pretty nice. She loved it. All right, I think I am satisfied. I think we're good to go. Little fuzz on there. All right, you guys, so that's that. That's the crackle. That's how we do the butterflies. Now I'm going to put the epoxy. I'm not happy with it. Hang on, I got a flaw. One that I don't like. Did I already cut that one? I don't think I did. Let's see if I can. I don't like that, and I don't like that. So if you cut them there, it relieves that. So you can push down the one side and then push the other one over it. There, that's a much smoother. It's a little bump still, but it's much smoother. I probably already did this. I'm just not happy with that. Okay, that'll be easier to cover. So that's it for that. Thanks again for watching and hanging out with me a little while I finish this. You guys don't know how bad I just want to go to bed right now because I see that 5 o'clock in the morning. Well, I have to be there at 5 o'clock. It takes, well, I was leaving an hour early, which means I'll be leaving the house at 4, which means I'll probably get there at 4:30, which is fine because I actually have some things I need to go over before anybody else gets there. So, it'll be a really early day tomorrow. And I'll probably get home, let's see, I'm usually out by, I'll probably be out, well, I probably can't leave until my partner gets there at 1. So I should be home right by 2. It's gonna be a long day, but that's okay. That's what it's all about, and I do enjoy what I do. So anyway, thanks again for watching. Stay tuned for the final results, and thank you all for joining me. I really appreciate each and every one of you. Hope you're having a great day. Take care.